But you know, there was a positive of that school and going to that school, and that was that the majority of the other kids in that school were from Irish heritage, yeah, and they were first generation. Like me and my brothers and sisters were first generation, so we got to connect to the point that I didn't even realise that Dharmander is not an English name. Yeah, I thought Dharmander was a normal British name because traditional Irish names are all friggy-diggy as well, right? You know what I mean? O'Sheen and Siobhan, right? Sicilian, right? So I thought, Dharmander, this is just a British name, innit? Until I went to high school, right? Because I had to go to a different high school to all my buddies, right? So I turned up there alone, right? And I remember seeing this kid and thinking, okay, be cool. First day of school, be cool, right? And, all right. And this kid's like, all right. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Okay, what's your name? And he's like, my name's Richard. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Richard and Dharmander, best friends forever, yeah. Private investigators. Right? I watched a lot of TV, right? And then he looked at me and he was like, hey, what's your name? And I was like, I'm Dharmander. And he was like, Amanda. Your name is Amanda. Lads, come over here, man. This Packy's got a girl's name. I was like, what's a Packy? Right? Because I'd never heard that racial slur before, right? But what I worked out really quickly was, whoa, wait. Not all white people are the same. And these white people are not the same as the white people I went to primary school with. And you know what? I don't like these white people. They scare me, man. So I looked around and then I saw a bunch of brown kids, right? And I was like, yeah, okay. And I walked up to the first kid, man, and I was like, oi, all right, what's your name? And he was like, my name's Matab. And I was like, yeah, that's weird enough. Come on, bro. Let's be buddies. And then the beautiful thing is that me and Matab actually, we really connected, yeah? And we sat together in our first lesson, yeah? And then we went together on break and we just hung out, right? And then we went to second class as well and really connected. Then we went to lunch and then we're in the lunch line, yeah? And Matab, he gets some chips. So I get some chips, right? And I'm like, oh, chip, buddy. I was a very excitable child, right? I still am. And then he gets some beans, right? So I got some beans, right? And I'm like, oh, Matab and Dharmander, private investigators. And then he got some fish fingers, but I don't eat fish fingers, so I got some sausages, right? And then he stopped me straight away. And he was like, yo, mate, you eat sausages? And I was like, yeah, I love them. And he was like, but aren't you a Muslim? And I was like, what's a Muslim? I just found out I'm a Paki, right? And then I didn't think about it at all, right? And we finished our lunch together, and then Matab, he had to go to the bathroom, so I went back to class, right? And then I sat down, and I saved Matab's seat, yeah? And then Matab, he comes into the classroom, and he just walks past me. Doesn't look at me, doesn't acknowledge me, and he goes and sits with the original group of kids that he was sitting with. And it's an image, and it's an emotion that stuck with me for many years, because it was the first time in my life that I really didn't want to be what I was. To the point that I didn't even know what I was, but I didn't want to be it, right? So I tried to change, right? I tried to change. And what do you do when you try to change? Usually you change your name, innit? That's the first thing you do, yeah? Cassius Clay turned into Muhammad Ali, yeah? Kanye West turned into Yeezy, Jeezy, Kill the Jewsy, and Sean Combs turned into Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Prisoner 7431. So I changed my name. So I changed my name from Dharmander, which is a wonderful 3-syllable spicy masala sounding name. I changed it from Dharmander to Dazza. No, do not cheer that. Now, some people are looking angry. You can punch me later, brother. You can punch me later, right? Yeah, man, I tell people my name was Dazza Singh, right? But like, what's your name? Dazza Singh. No, really, bro, what's your name? Dazza Singh. No, what's your name? Dazza Singh! Okay, give this kid a pill, man, right? But luckily, even as a little kid, I worked out very quickly that this face does not belong to Dazza Singh. No. And Dazza Singh doesn't even sound like a name, does it? It sounds like an STD or something, correct? Yo, why is he itching so much? I think he's got the Dazza Singh's shada. So I went back to Dharmander, yeah? And then as I grew, my name started to grow, yeah? And as I evolved, my name started to evolve organically. So I went from Dharmander to Dharma, yeah? And from Dharma to Darms. And from Darms to Dar, yeah? And that's my name now. Everyone knows me as Dar, my family, my friends. And I think we're all friends here now, yeah? I did the bit about religion. No one got angry, tried to throw a slipper at me. We're cool, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys a Birmingham, all right, everybody. And then I want all of you guys, as loud as you can, just to scream, all right, da! And we'll be a proper family then, yeah? So, all right, everybody! All right, da! I am. Thanks for asking. You guys are sweet, right? But you know what? Without realising it, Da, changing my name to Da, that's helped me out, you know. That's really helped me out. Because without realising it, Da actually means something in pretty much every single language. Every language has a meaning for Da. So I go to different countries and people connect with me for what Da means in their language, yeah? For example, in Irish, any Irish people in the house? Okay, just 2 of them, right? That's why we still have alcohol. This is nice. And so you guys will back me up. Dar in Irish means father, yeah? It means father, yeah? So every time I go to Ireland, they bloody love me. Yeah, man. They'll come up to me after the show like, hey, funny man. What's your name again? And then I'll be all like, I'm your dad. Really? Me ma said you died in a car crash. Where's me pocket money for all these years? Yeah. I never come back from Ireland with change in my pockets, man, right? In Eastern European languages, yeah, da means yes, yeah? Da means yes. So every time an Eastern European person asks me my name, they just think I'm stupid. They'll come up, they'll be like, hey, what is your name? Da. Okay. But what is your name? Da. Okay, this one I think is retarded. But no one told me. No one ever told me that in Germany, da, it's a direction, isn't it? It means over there. So the first time a German asked me my name, I really confused the hell out of them, right? This German dude, he comes up to me, he's like, hello! He was a polite German. Hello! Was ist dein Name? What is your name, right? And I look back at this dude, man, I'm like, hello! Because I believe integration is important, right? You got to fit in to get on, innit? You got to fit in to get on, right? And I was like, my Name is da! Entschuldigung? Ja! Wo ist dein Name? Where is your name, right? I'm like, no, my Name is da. Ja, aber wo? No, my Name is da. Ja, wo? Da, ja, wo? Da, wo? Da, wo? Da, wo? Da, wo? Da, wo? Da, wo? And that is how Berlin minimal techno was invented, right? You got techno fans in there, I like it. So, another privilege I've had is that I got brothers and sisters, right? Brothers and sisters who I could look up to, right? In fact, if you are the oldest sibling, make some noise. Make some noise. Yeah. The worst of the siblings, aren't they? Right? They think they're better than you. I was here first. It's all mine. Kind of shit, right? Yeah. If you are the youngest of the siblings, make some noise. They're even worse than the oldest, aren't they, right? Always asking for your shit, taking you. I know you, Leonard, right? Yeah. If you are the middle one of the siblings, make some noise. Yeah, that's why I like you, Leonard. That's why I like you, yeah? Because that's the beautiful thing, right? Having older brothers and a younger brother, because I could take all those roles, yeah? And also, my older brother would always look out for me, because my dad would work 6 days a week to support the family. And I remember this one time, my brother noticed that I was going through something in my head, right? So he came up to me, right? And he's like, oi, what's wrong with you, gay boy? Because, you know, it was the 80s. And I was like, bro, what am I? Am I English or am I Indian? And this kid at school, he called me a Paki. What am I? And my brother was like, you want to know what you are? I was like, yeah. And he was like, you want me to tell you what you are? I was like, yeah. And he was like, give me 50 pence. My brother's proper Indian, right? So I went off and I found my little brother and I got 50 pence off him, right? Because it's a pyramid scheme, right? I like you guys, man. And then I went and found my older brother. I gave him the 50 pence. And my older brother's like, so you want me to tell you what you are? I was like, yeah, what am I? He's like, you sure you want to know what you are? I was like, yeah, what am I? He's like, you're adopted. Piss off, man. What I said about older brothers, yeah? Now you believe me. Now you believe me. But I must have been going through something. Because my dad noticed there was something wrong with me, right? So it must have been a Sunday. Because that's the only day he didn't work. So he noticed there was something wrong, so he came up to me and he was like, hey, Gioia, gay boy. And what's happened, gay boy? It's the 80s. He was trying to fit in. And I was like, Dad, what am I? Dad, am I English or am I Indian? And before I could say it, he stopped me. He said, no, you are not Indian. You are not Indian. You're Punjabi. I was like, what? Because I'd never heard that phrase, Punjabi, before, right? And when I say Punjabis, I'm not saying hand jobbies, right? I know it's Berlin. So I know what a hand jobby is. Had to get some smut into it, right? So Punjabis are people from the region of the Punjab. And the region of the Punjab was a region of India, right? But when the British Empire realised that they were going to lose control of India, they decided to split India into India and Pakistan to destroy Gandhi's dream of a unified India, right? And they split it right through the region of Punjab, right? Without thinking of the consequences that would happen to people on either side of the border. Consequences that are still going on to this day, right? And when I learned that history, it actually made me realise how ridiculous man-made borders can be. Because if the British had decided that the border of Pakistan would be here instead of there, then my parents, the villages they were born in, would have been in Pakistan. And they would have been born Pakistan nationals. And their journey might have been very different to what it is today. And also, in the 80s, the Indian government and the Sikh communities were really going at it, right? They still are. So my dad was very anti-Indian, right? But another privilege I've had, for all these times when I really don't know, am I English? Am I Indian? Am I Punjabi? Am I a Paki? What am I? I've always known that I'm a Brummie, yeah? Thank you, one person. And he's seen the show 3 times as well, right? But Brummies are people from the city of Birmingham, right? And Birmingham, UK, is the second largest city in the UK, yeah? And Birmingham is situated right in the middle of England, right? And because of our accents, right? And because of where we're situated, the people in the south think we're stupid. The people in the north think we're stupid, yeah? Even the Welsh think we're stupid. And that's saying something, isn't it, right? I'm sorry if you're Welsh, right? No, seriously, I'm sorry if you're Welsh. Which means that because of all that, Brummies, we've really developed a self-deprecating sense of humour, yeah? We really know how to take the piss out of each other, right? And also we're known to be really welcoming people. And I always used to be, you know what, Birmingham till I die. Till I die. Birmingham, right? But then something started happening. Things started happening which made me question, am I changing? Or is my city changing? Right? Just let me explain it. Right. So I'm walking back from some shitty temp job, right? So I'm there with this South Asian lad. And we're talking about the Sparkbrook area of Birmingham, right? And the Sparkbrook area of Birmingham is the area where my parents moved to when they came to England, and this kid's parents moved to when they came to England, right? And actually, historically, the Sparkbrook area of Birmingham has always been the area where the new immigrants come and settle, right? So first it was the Irish, and then you got the Indians and the Pakistanis, and then the Africans and the Jamaicans, and then the Polish and the Romanians. And the beautiful thing about this revolving door is that when these immigrants make enough money, they leave and make space for the new immigrants. And then the new immigrants come and revitalise the area. Yeah, they revitalise the area. This is something that people don't talk about when it comes to immigration, innit? It's all about what do they take? It's not about what do they get. This is turning into a TED talk, isn't it? This diagram here will show the net immigrant. So me and this kid, we're really vibing, man. We're really connecting. It's like, yeah, the Black Horse pub. Me and my cousins, we used to play there every weekend. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, it seems, he looks at me and he's like, yeah, man, but bro, it's changed now, innit? It ain't the same, innit? Now it's fucking Somalia town, innit? Yeah, man. And I was like, what? He's like, man, you fucking heard me, man. It's fucking Somalia town. Now, if it said to me, hey, mate, it's Somalia town, I don't think I would have said anything. Because you can have Chinatown, can't you? You can have Little Italy. But it's because he said, it's fucking Somalia town, that I felt compelled to question him. So I was like, what do you mean by that, bro? And he's like, you know what I mean, innit, bro? It's these fucking Somalians, innit? Coming over to our country, innit? Our country. With their funny food, their funny language. They open their shops, they open their restaurants. They don't even bother trying to speak English, innit? They should go back to where they come from. And I was like, bro, you know what you're saying right now? What you're saying right now is exactly the same shit that white people were saying about my parents and your parents. Not even 30 years ago, man. And then, fair play, he thought about it. And then he looked at me and he was like, yeah, man, what a bunch of racists and white people are, innit? And you know what? I'm embarrassed to say, but I didn't have the tools to deal with that conversation back then, right? So I just walked away. And as I walked away, honestly, it broke my heart, man. It honestly broke my heart. That within one generation, we had forgotten the pain, the struggle, the hatred our parents had to deal with to give us a better life. And we'd already started passing it on to a new community. And it wasn't just this kid, man. It was other people, right? So I thought, you know what? I got to get out of my city, man. I got to get out of my city. I love this city. I'm going to go somewhere else, though, man. I'll go somewhere that's not so racist, somewhere that probably hasn't even got a history of racism. I know. You're way ahead of me, aren't you, with this one, right? You're way ahead of me, right? I was like, fuck it, let's go Germany, man, right? But it was crazy, you know. When I decided to move to Germany, I realised how xenophobic English people can really be, man. English people can be so xenophobic. Because when I told people I was moving to Germany, people were saying shit like this to me. Well, you want to move Germany, mate? We won the war. Well, you want to go Loserville, mate? Well, you want to go Loserville? They're like, shut up, brah. No, seriously, man. Why you want to go Germany, man? Ain't you see them racists there, ain't they? There's some Nazis there, ain't it? Nazis, man. Just shut up, will ya? Nah, seriously, it's that Hitler fella, ain't it? That Hitler fella. You're going to get Hitlered by a Nazi, ain't it? I was like, shut up. That doesn't even make sense. Nah, seriously. Shut up, Dad. Give me a break. Right.